Hey guys, my name is Benjamin Butler here. I'm an instrument ground, also AVIA310, and I'm going to be talking about my flight scenario presentation and what this is, a little bit about my go no go decision, and all that fun stuff. So let's begin. Alright, so to start here, it's a picture because this flight is about ice and conditions. Note that in the future, but that's one of the planes I've flown getting de-iced before a winter flight one morning. On to the next. Alright, so to start here, this is our trip and IFR alternates for this flight here. So route is a KMMV down to KLMT. Flight time is about 1 hour 54 minutes, give or take. Might be a little less because this performance right here is from a 172. We're flying a 182 for this trip here. But our alternate here is going to be KMFR, which is pretty sure that's Rogue Valley, Medford, Oregon. So you are up in the mountains since you're up in Oregon. And so the reason this is an alternate is because it does have a precision approach. Also an ILS, which is precision approach. The weather at the time of this is ceilings they're broken at 2,500 feet. And we do have 6+ saturated miles of visibilities, which is well within my personal minimum stated for this video. On to the next. Alright, pilot currency. So this is very important to keep in mind when you're flying under IFR. So according to what has been listed for us in this assignment, our pilot is current and up to date. So that's very good news. There's a thing about proficiency though. Sometimes you might be current, but you might not be the most proficient thing. Like say you haven't flown ILS down the minimums in a long time. Well, you might not be that proficient at doing it and comfortable and doing it safely. So flight down to KLMT, no, I would not do just because these weather minimums are below his minimums, as well as but then we come over here to Medford, Oregon, and it's a bit of yes and no. The visibility is kind of low later on, but it is within. Then we come over here to our instrument currency requirements. It's called the 6-hit method. Pretty much 6 instrument approaches. You need holding procedures, intercepting, tracking courses, such as GPS type flying, VOR, all that fun stuff, as well as the use of navigational electronic systems like approaches, RNAVs, all that fun stuff. So all this has to be within 6 calendar months, unless you have a IPC and instrument proficiency check as well. Next up, aircraft system. So the type of aircraft we were given for this assignment is a 182 Tango turbo model. Very fun aircraft. It's what I'm getting my high performance in soon. Super excited for this. So this is a dual G1000 equipped aircraft. So really capable of flying IFR. So as I stated at the top, it is an IFR aircraft, but it is a Cessna. So there is no icing protection at all besides pitot heat, which does not do much. It is a high altitude aircraft. It does have oxygen mask for each passenger. And some more things about it. It's got autopilot. It's probably a GFC 700 if I had to guess. Sometimes there are a little bit older autopilots, but we're just going to go with the GFC 700. The engine in it does make 235 horsepower and it's turboed. So great at high altitudes, as well as elevations for field takeoffs, all that fun stuff. Next up here. Alright, environmental weather. So we do have some environmental weather issues here. I pulled up kind of a picture of what would be somewhat similar to what we're going to be flying through, some low IFR and icing type of stuff. So to start, the temperatures for this trip were pretty low, and it's going to be kind of foggy, rainy, so that does lead to icing concerns. Another issue with this flight is it is in the mountains of Oregon, which mountains, low weather, like visibility wise, cold temps as well, it's going to lead to icing and IFR conditions. Our elevation actually is about 9,000 feet, so therefore, yeah, you do have some pretty high altitudes you're going to have to be flying over. And at those altitudes and icing conditions, it can go pretty south pretty quickly. There's also Crater Lake up there, which has extremely high elevation. It also runs along with the 9,000 foot range. Pretty well popular spot, but you do have some hazards of flying up in that area. And because of this weather that we have been given, we do have low ceilings and IMC conditions. So our pilot here is not flown IMC in quite a bit. He's also going to be dealing with low ceilings and approaches. So that also when this happens, you do have to go look at your personal minimums for the weather and determine if you are current, which he is, great, but how do you feel about this flight? Are you going to be proficient enough to do it? So our external pressure. So for this flight, as I said, it is a family-related flight. So granted, you're only flying for your family. It's not a company. But this is for sporting events. His kid's got a game, very important game he has to go make, and they're trying to leave a sporting event. Or no, they're actually with family at a wedding. So that does go down to the weather minimums, thinking, okay, well, how are these minimums going to affect my flight, as well as the icing issues and sleep deprivation, because he was at a wedding. He could be very exhausted from this. And ways we can check this is by the PAVE checklist, which is mandatory for every flight, to the pilot, aircraft, environment, and external pressures. So our pilot, how's he feeling? All this. Aircraft, well, our aircraft has hardly no icing protection, but it is great for flying IFR. Well, icing is an issue on this flight, which comes down to environment. What's the weather doing? It's icing, it's low visibility, IMC conditions. Then external pressures such as family pressuring him to get to this sporting event and all this. Then to end it off here, my go, no-go decision would probably be a no. I would not feel safe flying family, especially in conditions I'm not prepped for, such as icing, but also just not being as proficient in IMC conditions. It just would not be a safe flight. It'd be best to just pick up a commercial flight or even drive. Then to end it here, I do have my sources on this next slide where I got some additional information. Thank you for watching.